The college football experience, Penn State Nittany Lions 2025 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, get up to $1,000 deposit match when you sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com. Make sure you use our promo code TCESGPN. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
Hey everybody, Jim McMahon here, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes. Woo! Welcome to the college football experience. Penn State Nittany Lions 2025 season preview. I don't know what year it is, folks. I've been grinding college dog days of summer. We are breaking down 136 teams. We have 136 episodes we are doing. And let alone our conference preview. So, I mean, buckle up, subscribe, youtube.com/the college experience. We just got done with Appalachian State triple header tonight. We got the Ohio State Buckeyes next. There's bad blood between these two, right? But, right now we are talking Nittany Lions. Is it the year? They're finally going all in. We will talk all about it. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
He's the kind of guy that would drink a gallon of gasoline so he could piss in your campfire. You could drop this guy off at the Arctic Circle wearing a pair of bikini underwear without his toothbrush, and tomorrow afternoon he's going to show up at your poolside with $1 million smile and a fistful of pesos.
Let's go. I am wearing my Penn State shirt. Now, I got to tell this story, Mac. I want to introduce you, buddy. I'll introduce you first.
Sounds good.
Are these Nittany Lions? Let's go. This is the year.
Oh, man.
This is the year. I am joined by my co-host. He is also the host of the college basketball experience with me every single night of the basketball season. We are live once the season tips. And, of course, we're the same with football. So subscribe. What are you doing, folks? Give it up for former staffer with the Governors of Austin Peay, with the Gamecocks of South Carolina, with the Mountaineers of West Virginia. Ryan McIntyre, a.k.a. Monette Line. Mac, how are you, brother?
Yes, this episode, the theme is this the year? It's got to be the year for James Franklin and Penn State. All in, baby.
Mac tonight! Come on, make it Mac tonight!
So I got a lot to talk about here. First off, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm wearing a green Penn State shirt. So I have no fucking idea. My story was we hit some rough car trouble, me and a buddy, working on like a film I was in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and there was a snowstorm. So we had to the car couldn't go. It was too much snow. So here we are, we're kind of stuck in this town. And I'm walking around downtown Albuquerque, New Mexico, and just going into random fucking stores. I go into a thrift store, and they have like showcasing on like I don't want to say like one of those like one of those mannequins, but it was similar in vein of that, almost on like a scarecrow or something. And it was a green Penn State shirt, this one that I'm wearing right now, which I have no idea. Green is not one of Penn State colors. Surprise, surprise. My assumption, you said St. Patty's. I was thinking it was when they went to Ireland to play UCF in week 0 a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Or 10 years ago, whatever that was. Either way, I was like, I have to buy this because it's ridiculous. And it was priced at $1.99. So this is my Penn State shirt, right? Sometimes I wear this around town and people go, what the fuck is that? And I still don't know what it is. If anyone out there, any Penn State fans have any clarity on why they did a green edition Penn State, I'm just making the assumption it's the Ireland trip. But yeah, that's my story. It's not that good. But this is a big year, dude. This is, and I was even asking you this like 2 minutes before we went live. We just wrapped App State, so we didn't talk too much pre-episode. And if James Franklin doesn't get to the national championship, is he gonna pull a Calipari
and jump ship? Yeah,
I just feel like the pressure is so much there. It's similar to me. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the term you used was peace of mind. That goes a long way. I mean, he's getting heckled at the goddamn spring game. And he doesn't shy away from whenever somebody heckles him. He usually goes at him. So I do respect that about James Franklin. I think it's entertaining. But I could see him jumping if they don't get it done this year. This is by far their best team from a resources standpoint. The theme with all these other previews, Colby, has been, they don't bring a lot back. There's not a lot of continuity. Not this one. This one's going to be kind of a throwback episode. This and Clemson are the two teams that really pop to mind on returning production and continuity on the coaching staff.
Yeah, and this one probably even more so because Clemson kind of stole the bid. But this one, and Tom Allen, how fitting is it that he jumps from Penn State to Clemson? Yeah. But I would say this is the year to do it. It seems like all the chips are in.
Yeah.
As they should be. I mean, Penn State growing up, my brother was a big Penn State fan. I watched pretty much like every Penn State game ever from like 1985 on, I feel like. But they've been a great fan base. They deserve everything. So they should be going all in.
In the chat's asking, like, where would he go? I mean, we went through all those SEC jobs that could open. I mean, he still is 101-42. We're not saying Franklin's a bad coach. We're just saying it might be time for a change of scenery if they don't get it done this year.
Well, you just got to read the room right now. And it just seems like in similar vein to Calipari, it was like he had this big contract.
Yeah.
But it seemed like there is something to wanting to be loved and liked.
Yep.
Like, why are you doing this? He's in year 12 in Happy Valley. To me, like, if he did come up short this year, like I said, if he gets to the Natty, I think it's different. But if he gets to where it was last year, or God forbid, like you miss the playoffs or something, I think that the buyout's gigantic. So I don't know what they would do. If memory serves me correct, the buyout's gigantic. Refresh my memory. I thought they re-upped him recently. I could see him potentially, if the Florida job was open or something, just saying, you know what, I can still be a millionaire down there with no pressure. Or, I mean, there's still pressure there. Don't get me wrong. But a year one, there's not much pressure. It's like Calipari at Arkansas. Yeah. The Kentucky fans they were done with him. They losing to St. Peter's and stuff. And he could sense the hate. And I think he read the room well, in my opinion. It's like, why not? Look, you're going to be a millionaire regardless. Okay, the buyout's ridiculous, but like, why put yourself? You're getting hate mail. You know what I mean? Like, every time you walk the dog, you got to worry about some dude fucking punching you in your face. You know what I mean? Like, so it's why put yourself through that? That's all I was posing as that question there. But let's talk more about Coach Franklin, because James Franklin, man, was one time the coach in waiting at Maryland under Ralph Friedgen. YouTube.com/The College Experience. Highly recommend watching it over listening. But if you're listening, that's okay too. He's 125-57 in his coaching career, and look at his past 3 years: 11-2, 10-3, 13-3. Yeah, it sounds like a guy that should never be on the hot seat, but Penn State's a place that you should be able to win national championships at, in my opinion. And I think you're in what? Like I said, is it year 12? I think it's year 12.
His
right?
first year was 14, so
11.
Yeah.
Okay, no, 12. Okay,
12,
yeah.
12. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying is like sometimes this he got him out of that era, Bill O'Brien and before, and I feel like he's got them on the national, like the pedestal. He's got them back to where Penn State should be.
Yeah.
But you got to win some of those big time matchups, which hasn't necessarily gone his way. Where are you at with Coach Franklin? Do you think he's a good? I mean, he's a good football coach. He did great things at Vanderbilt.
I was just getting ready to say, yeah, I do. I actually find myself defending Franklin more than attacking Franklin because I know there's a big hatred for Franklin, kind of like Ryan Day at Ohio State. But I mean, yeah, he won 9 games back-to-back years at Vandy, comes over to Penn State. I think the narrative would be different with Franklin if we had the playoff the entire time. He would have 5 playoff berths, but they were always in that 7 to 11 range. And finally, now that they expanded the playoff, Penn State was able to get there. And then what? Year 1 in the playoff format, they go to the Final Four, and yeah, they should have won the game. They had the better roster than Notre Dame, and Allar gave the game away with that interception, and then some boneheaded stuff just down the stretch by Penn State. But overall, good coach, but a lot of pressure on him this year. And I think it ramps up because Ohio State won it last year and Michigan won it the year before.
Well, they've kind of followed the blueprint on this. And by the way, shout out. I think we got our guy SGPN Doc in here. Sebastian, shout out to you, buddy. I know you're a big Florida Gator fan. Yeah, Brettster, big Penn State fan. He's saying I've seen enough of Franklin. Well, I'd say wait to see how this year pays out, man. People wished. I argued in the SGPN studio. This is with Real Money Kramer. He was like, Harbaugh's got to go. And I'm like, you're fucking crazy. You're not going to find a better fucking football coach for that.
Yeah.
For the Michigan job, I was like, you're at your max right now. I don't think you'll find a better head coach than Jim Harbaugh. But, he had lost a bunch of close games. And James Franklin, he hasn't even lost a bunch, but he's lost enough of the big close games that it's a thing. So, yeah. I know. Yeah. Kaysen, that's a good point. Shout out to Kaysen in the chat. I forget it. Can you pull up his record against top 10 teams? It is something ridiculous, but
fucking horrible.
But you got to understand some of that record is them coming out of that era. You know what I mean? So coming out of that era, Bill O'Brien did a decent job with Hackenberg and company.
It's bad.
I know it's horrible, but I'm saying some of that was Penn State getting back on track. You know what I mean?
He is 3-17 against the top 10, 4-16. In other words, he's 4-16 against Ohio State and Michigan combined.
Wait, but that's his whole career because that's at Vanderbilt too, right?
Yeah, I guess, but I mean
that's what I'm saying, man. I think I did a deep dive on this, years ago or a year ago probably, but. When you're at Vanderbilt, you're not supposed to beat a top 10 team.
Yeah.
Right?
You should be better than 4-16 against Ohio State.
I agree. I'm not
12.
I'm not making excuses. Like the Ohio State things have been baffling. And I've probably lost fucking $2,000 on those games specifically. I'm talking multiple double-digit leads where I've been like, we got this. The Saquon Barkley year. I want to vomit just thinking about it. Right? I understand that. I get that. And there deserves to be criticism for that. But I also believe when he first got to Penn State, getting the wheels back on the track, you probably played they were not ready to go up against Ohio State. They were not ready to go up against, well, I don't know. Michigan wasn't even in a great state either, but some of the teams they probably played in the top 10 then. Alabama, they played Saban, didn't they? Or was that Bill O'Brien? Might have been Bill O'Brien.
I think it was Bill O'Brien.
Yeah. Either way, look, I'm just saying some of the stats can be twisted.
Yeah.
Twisted a little bit. Anyway, it's a big year. You might. I don't think they'll fire him because it's too much money we're talking. But I think he could pull Calipari.
Yeah.
He returns. OC and Andy Kotelnicki, who I'm a huge fan of. Obviously, if you've listened to our show for a long time, I was that guy that locked up Kansas the first 2 years of the Leipold era as my number one locks, and they cashed both times. And then I faded him last year. Do I have a pulse on fucking Kansas or what? But Andy Kotelnicki is a big reason why I think he's a really good offense coordinator. And I thought it was a really good hire for Franklin because Franklin has had these kind of stagnant offenses. And I think Kotelnicki's a guy that is definitely a guy that thinks outside the box. That can be to his detriment at times. What was it at the goal line? When the goal line
that played against Ohio State.
Yeah, I know that could be. But look, I'll live with that because
Yeah.
that's who he is. You know, like he will think outside the box pretty much. I feel like if you go back to his Wisconsin Whitewater days and everything, that's his thing, and that's how he got his name. You know, so I can understand. Like, look, I'm a football guy, so I look at that and I want to vomit at the goal line. I do. I'm like, how the fuck do you not score right there? Just play football. But at the same time, I can understand that that's his thing of how he got to where he is. So he is back for year 2, and I think that's something we should highlight. I think it's very important for any quarterback to be with their offense coordinator more than 1 year. This is year 2, so things should be a little bit more fluid there. Scoring offense last season was 28th. Passing offense was 66th. Rush offense 17th and 26th in total offense. So top 30 offense. Top 30 offense. I expect those numbers to be a lot better for several reasons. Let's jump into it. They return Drew Allar. This guy has 53. I was number crunching.
That's great.
Unbelievable. I was like 53. This is why I hate football. I mean, look, I love football, but I hate football because I'm like, it's like the argument like Stacking the Money Green was telling me Bo Nix throw more touchdowns than John Elway in his best year, and I'm like, nowadays, what is 30 touchdowns? I don't know. I don't like stats don't mean anything to me anymore. Yeah. Right? Like 53 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, but we watched the film. He has been a liability at times. I think though a second year in the offense is huge because I do think that was honestly, I think Allar took a big step last year because going from the previous offense, which I'm drawing a blank on the OC right now, to Kotelnicki, that is about as big as a difference in coordinating, I think, as you can get. So I think he deserves a little bit of a pass, despite being Kirk Cousins of college football.
That's a good comparison.
Where are you at with Drew Allar?
Yurchich was his name. The OC.
Yes.
Yeah. And he fired him late November, if I'm correct.
And I thought that dude was a decent coach, but I also thought he was super conservative.
Yeah.
Whereas Kotelnicki is not that guy.
No, he's not. And I like Kotelnicki. Hell, he was a finalist for the WVU job before Rich Rod got it. But yeah, I mean, Allar, the year before, 25 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, but it was a lot of dink and dunk conservatives, pad your stats that way. Last year, he took some more shots down the field, and that was not with a really good receiving core room. And that's the big thing that they went out that we'll touch on here in the offseason is they got him some weapons here. They got Kotelnicki and Allar some toys, and they got their backs back in their O-line. So, yeah.
Well, I was about to say that. I mean, the running back room, it's the best running back room. Look at this, 2,800 yards, almost 2,900 yards for Kaytron Allen, 28 touchdowns. And then you have Nick Singleton, 2,900 yards, 40 touchdowns. This is like when Oklahoma State had Barry Sanders and Thurman Thomas at the same time.
Or last year, what's a two-headed monster?
But even better,
yeah,
even fucking better. Like, man, it's like
they have a chance to finish 1-2 all-time Penn State in history of rushing.
Which is crazy.
We're crazy.
I mean, Franco Harris, Blair Thomas, Kijana Carter, Curtis Enos. I can go Larry Johnson. You can go on and on about the great backs. DJ Dozier. Like, you can just go on and on about how many great backs came out of this university. That's so huge, dude. Just that's another reason why the 1 yard line thing killed me as much as I love Kotelnicki. Is like you have two of the best running backs in America. What the fuck are you doing? Well, they return a ton. 4 of 5 on the offensive line, Mac. Khalil Dinkins, I counted as a returning starter. I know Tyler Warren, a.k.a. John Riggins 2.0, is gone. Drafted him in fantasy, though. Khalil Dinkins, started 6 games last year. So I think that I can actually say he's a returning starter. So you got both backs. It can be skewed a little bit from the receiving standpoint. Dude, this has got to be the year.
Like this offense should hum with Kotelnicki another year. Allar should take a step, and then you got those 2 dogs in the backfield that we already touched on with Singleton and Allen, and then all those horses up front on the O-line. The only loss that's really going to hurt is Warren. I mean, he was a stud, but they have enough pieces to fill in that production.
Yeah, Warren basically willed them to a win against USC. They had no business winning that game. I was convinced when I watched that game that he was the greatest football player of all time. I was like, holy shit. I was like, he had like 20 catches, 220 yards. I'm talking out of my ass a little bit, but I'm saying like it was so noteworthy that I was like, I was just dumbfounded on how a defense couldn't stop this guy who, once again, is from our neck of the woods. Unbelievable. Defensively, well, first they did hit the portal. I'm sorry. I forgot to mention this. I wonder, Mac. Trebor Pena comes in from Pena comes in from Syracuse, where he had a great season. Devonte Ross, a wideout from Troy. Kyron Hudson from USC, who obviously was on the schedule last year in the game I was talking about. Offensive lineman TJ Shanahan from A&M. A&M's always got good guys on the line of scrimmage. Mac, I want to just play devil's advocate for a second. Syracuse had a super easy fucking schedule last year. We were all over that. We hammered the over. I even took them to win the ACC, even though they didn't. They came very close. They were one Stanford loss away from playing for the ACC championship. Pena might have cooked the books a little bit. I like, this is something that I find intriguing, is Penn State's done this a couple of years where they've added some wideouts. I'm drawing a blank on the kid they grabbed from the MAC a couple of years ago, or from Western Kentucky. But I'm intrigued to see how it works out with him, because he played great, but Syracuse had a great schedule. They were not playing great corners last season, so to speak.
He did dominate Miami.
Miami had a horrible pass defense, though. But they have athletes, but they had a horrible pass defense last year. I think that's one of the things to watch with this season is will they hit on that in the portal? Like, is Pena going to play at that level we saw at Syracuse with Kyle Honda McCord? Hudson, I actually think Hudson could be a baller for them. But I'm fascinated by the Ross and Pena additions. Defensive. So do you think the offense will be better than a year ago? I think it certainly will be, and I think that's pretty obvious, right?
Yeah, it better be, or Kotelnicki's not earning his nice salary. And then we got some bigger questions about Allar if they don't take a step forward. So yeah, I mean, they gave him all these new toys, 3 new receivers, a new receiving room. The joke is none of those receivers caught a ball in the Notre Dame game. I don't think they're going to have that issue again. They're going to take a step forward.
Yeah. The defense is fascinating. Jim Knowles, sitting defensive coordinator at Ohio State. They win the national championship. He bolts to Penn State, according to my sources, with some friends close that cover Ohio State. That him and Day clashed constantly, really ever since the Oregon Cristobal game. Here's a lot of people make a big deal out of this, and I don't want to, like, I do believe Jim Knowles is a great defensive coordinator, but I also think every defensive coordinator Penn State has is good. Yeah. Like, going back to, like, that's why I couldn't deduce how well of a coach Brent Pry was. I was like, I don't know. Everyone does great at Manny Diaz. Tom Allen, I think, is a great defensive mind. So last season, Tom Allen's defense at Penn State was 8th in scoring defense, 31st in pass defense, 9th in rush defense, 7th nationally in total defense. I mean, I don't know that Jim Knowles can improve that. Like, it's people are like, well, they got Jim Knowles. I'm like, well, Tom Allen is no fucking slouch, guys. Tom Allen's a great fucking defensive coordinator.
And neither was Manny Diaz. And
yes, that's what I'm saying. Everybody that's been there, Anthony Poindexter, all these guys. And
Sandusky.
Yeah. He was a good DC.
I mean, the other shit, but fuck, he was a hell of a defensive coordinator.
didn't know you were gonna go off that one. Oh yeah, Sandusky. His blitz schemes are fucking incredible.
That'll get the chat going. Yeah, man. They defense has never been an issue at Penn State.
That's why I was arguing months ago, probably in February, with someone on Twitter that says like, "Oh, we're gonna have the top defense in the country," and I'm like, I don't know that. I'll make the point that like your schedule is softer this year, so in that regard, you might. But I don't know that I like if I'm power ranking defensive coordinators, Jim Knowles and Tom Allen, it's like tomato to me. It's like, no, both are legit first round draft picks at defensive coordinator, in my opinion. So I don't know that this is going to be better. I think it's going to be more of the same, personally. Let's break down.
Yeah, they may even take a slight step back, like from a statistical standpoint, but
not with the schedule, though. I think the schedule actually is going to make Jim Knowles look like more of a genius, personally. But
is that because you saw Iowa and Rutgers on there?
I did, and I said this is going to be perfect for his defense. So Dennis Sutton is a beast. He had, I think, like 9 sacks last year. He returns at the DN spot. Zane Durant back at the defensive tackle spot. 2 linebackers, Rojas and DeLuca back. Secondary's in decent shape with AJ Harris and Wheatley back at the safety spot. Kicker and punter, Ryan Barker, Riley Thompson back. They did go out to the portal. They added Anai White from A&M. Getting guys on the line of scrimmage from A&M, always a good move. Owen Waffle from Michigan. Getting Michigan guys on the line of scrimmage, good move too. Linebacker Amari Campbell from UNC. UNC was recruiting at a really high level. They couldn't win games, but they were recruiting, so he's probably very talented. And King Mack, who should be a rapper after his career. Great name. Alabama transfer coming in. Yeah, the Campbell one is that's what the Get Back coach is saying. My thing is Carolina's defense has been ass lately, but I believe that he's talented. A lot of those Carolina transfers are landing elsewhere at like big name schools. Even though we know JMU put 70 on them last year in Chapel Hill. I still think that roster was super talented. So, Mac, will the defense be? I think it'll be around the same, if not a little bit better. I don't think it'll be worse because I think the schedule's easier.
Yeah, I was glancing at the schedule. They did draw because I mean that is one thing about the Big Ten. You do have some very below average offenses, cough, cough, Iowa and some of those other
in
ones.
A way, they cook the books that the conference does.
Yes.
Not Penn State. Just like sometimes Iowa stats, even though I believe Iowa's defense is legit almost every year, but it's also like, especially when they're in the divisions, it's like, dude, you played Northwestern's offense, Minnesota's offense, Nebraska's offense under Frost or something. Yeah. And then you're like Illinois' offense pre-Bielema. You're like, what am I supposed to be proud of this? Like, of course your defense is good. But
I think you're right.
I think it'll be more of the same, right?
I think you're right. And the non-con's a joke. They took that right out of Ohio State and
yes, that's part of my point. Good and I can't even blame them. I can't even fucking blame them. Let's dive into that in a second here, but I think they will be the same. So look at Jimmy Knowles. All right, look, folks, before we dive into that, I want to tell you the college football experience, Penn State Nittany Lion edition, is brought to you by us. Yes, the college football experience, part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. You can listen to every single podcast we do as a network. I'm talking all of our shows on one spot. It's called the network, SGPN. Type that in to whatever podcast feed you're listening to and let it ride. We're also brought to you by Circa Millions and Circa Survivor. Think you know ball that you have to enter Circa's football contest, NFL football contest. $21 million in guaranteed prizes up for grabs. There is no rake. So if the entries go above the guarantee, all the extra money will go to the prize pool. Circa Millions, you pick 5 NFL teams against the spread each week, or go for the ultimate sweat in Circa Survivor. There's even the Circa Grandissimo for $100K Survivor contest as well. You must register in person at Circa Sportsbook in Nevada, Las Vegas. Great excuse to book a trip to the biggest sportsbook in the world. Stadium Swim. Come on, if you haven't been, you're crazy. I'm going to 9 days. It is heaven. Sign up in Nevada, play from anywhere with the help of SGPN's official proxy. Yes, go to footballcontest.com. Use the promo code SGP to get $50 off your proxy fees. We're also brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on every single sport, including the MLB. All these summer sports right now going on. MLB, we got Sunday Night Baseball on. I got the CFL going right now. CFL action's going on the road to the Grey Cup. WNBA, tennis is rolling. Golf is always rolling. And, of course, college football and NFL futures. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of different locations, too, even outside of the States. You can easily deposit, get lightning fast payouts using crypto. So what are you doing? Head on over to mybookie.ag. But when you do, use our promo code TCESGPN for 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions do apply, of course. That's mybookie.ag, promo code TCESGPN. All right, we are back. Shout out to the chat. Come be a part of the chat. They're so kind. Texas fans weren't so kind to us today, but that's okay.
Oh, they're so soft.
It's okay. I enjoy that part of the year. Okay. So look, we talked about the roster. We talked about the coaching staff. Upgrade with Knowles. Who knows? Kotelnicki year 2. That is going to be an upgrade. I think the roster returning upgrade. It all has to do with state of the program, in my opinion, which we talk about for each one of our 136 schools in the FBS. 136 episodes, 136 schools. But part of the also state of the program is the stadium. Beaver Stadium, 65 years young. Mac, I gave this a 9 out of 10. And I'm concerned. I'm a little concerned because we know Penn State. First off, fuck you, Fox. You keep ruining the whiteouts. These TV execs, I'm telling you, man.
Idiots.
I have dreams of like me holding up a bank, but all they are, there's no real bank. There's no vault. It's just a bunch of these TV execs being like, fucking play weekday games, play night games. We love whiteouts. I am a little concerned though, because look, we know what is Penn State. Look at that. That's fucking Penn State. That's the Penn State I grew up with right there. Right? I look at that. That is awesome. That is classic. That is everything to me. Penn State. It's just the epitome of football, right? Look at that.
Ooh,
whiteouts.
that thing.
Hey, Fox doesn't want this. They'd rather have a noon game against West Virginia, right? What? Penn State, West Virginia. Come on. They could have done that. Penn State, Ohio State. They're killing me on this, and I think Penn State fans agree with me, I would assume. But, Mac, I'm a bit like they do college football 110% correct. This right here, to me, is a 10. But I'm a little concerned, man. They have this talk of this new stadium upgrades, Beaver Stadium looking like this.
No, you hate this.
This makes me very concerned. This
TMZ
looks like where do I plug my cell phone or my laptop into? The wall chargers are there. What the fuck is this? I mean, look, I hope it works out. I know there was talk of a dome at one point. These are the renderings.
Oh my God, don't do that.
Yes. It's been like, and I don't think it's going to be a dome now, which is good news because, you should never play football indoors, but this is another rendering. This is not a real shot. That actually doesn't look that bad. So that's a more recent rendering. I am very concerned about this though. This looks like some shit in the NFL, which I fucking hate. All right. NFL stadiums are all trash. All of them except Lambeau and Soldier. And in Arrowhead. They're going to get rid of those anyway, except Lambeau. This has me a little concerned. All right. That's all I'm saying. Like a little concerned, little worried, I know it's just renderings, but damn it.
That thing costs $700 million. Oh,
What's
man.
going on?
Put that shit somewhere else.
That's what I'm saying. And we're about to do Ohio State, Mac.
Get in your NIL.
I will. Ohio State's coming up after this. I'm going to make a point. Ohio State knows what the fuck they're doing, and I'm no Buckeye fan. If you know me, if you listen to us over the years, I'm not a Buckeye fan by any means. I'd be Penn State all day over Ohio State, but not when I see renderings like this. This looks like a mega Apple store. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is this, dude?
Yeah, that's not culture. That's not tradition right there. That's that TMZ shit. I still give it a 10 just because. Just because it hasn't gone into effect yet, but man,
that's true.
Need to. I can't wait for the Oregon game because NBC got it and they put the shit at nighttime. Thank you,
Yes,
NBC.
You're gonna see wackos like this, which are awesome.
Yes,
that is college football. We want night games at Beaver Stadium in Happy Valley there. Look, I gave it a 9 of 10. I'm just bummed out by that news. I'm just bummed out by that news.
The current stadium's a 10 out of 10. Look at that thing.
Look at that. Fucking perfect.
Yeah, look at that whiteout.
Fucking perfect. You don't need to do much. Look, shout out to the Get Back coach saying needed renovation. Old press box was the worst. Okay, well, renovate it, but keep the look. I mean, there's blueprints for this. We're about to do Ohio State. I encourage you to tune into that. But also, there's a ton of stadiums that can keep that classic look. The Rose Bowl is one that has done that and done. They're in the middle of doing that right now. But there's a way to do it without looking like some shit in Star Wars. All right. It's a great stadium. The fan base is great. They're college football through and through, dude. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Why tamper with something that's fucking perfect? All right. You can just
in the middle of nowhere, by the way. It's in the middle of nowhere.
I was supposed to go. I've actually never been to the stadium because we had tickets, myself, NC Nick, and some others. The weekend the fucking Sandusky shit broke. I was supposed to go, and I was like, after the media, the way everyone was coming in there, I was like, yeah, fuck that. Where did I go? I think we ended up going to Arizona State. I think we all pivoted and went to like Sun Devil Stadium. But I was gonna go for the Nebraska. It was Nebraska at Penn State, and we were all gonna go. We were excited about it, and then that shit broke, and we're like, yeah, okay. Yeah, the stadium's fire though, man. They do college football right. Look at that. That's a great fucking building. See how it looks classic like that? Don't fuck with that look. You can redo the whole goddamn building. Just keep it classic like that. All right? That's all I'm saying.
By the way, Penn State fans agree. They don't want the noon games. They're the most outspoken fan base of no noon games. Them and then Ohio State, even though Ohio State never plays at night.
Well, they didn't have lights at Ohio Stadium for a long time.
I know.
So I can understand that one a little more. But
how many more games would Penn State have beat Ohio State if they had played that thing at night rather than the big?
Oh, for sure. You are handicapping. You are handicapping your future essentially a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a great stadium though, man. Get out to a game at Happy Valley in Happy Valley at Beaver Stadium. I could look at all these photos, dude, man. It's just all fire. All fire. Look at their fans. They're fucking great. They are the epitome of what college football, like this is why college football is the greatest shit on planet Earth. All right. They do it right. Program on the rise, Mac. State of the program. I gave it a 9 of 10 because they haven't got that natty since Joe Pa and Kerry Collins and company. So until they get that, I have to give it a 9 of 10. How about you?
Yeah, you can't give it a 10 because they haven't won the natty. But it's like a 9.5. I mean, each year they get closer and closer. So you win that natty, you're at a 10, guys. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty easy right there. All right, look, we're going to dive into the schedule. We're going to go game by game on the schedule and talk about this with my green Penn State shirt on. But before I do that, I want to let you know that the College Football Experience Penn State edition is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, Underdog Best Ball Mania is happening all summer long, giving away $15 million in prizes, including $2 million to first place. There's no waiver wire, no arguments about trades. Best ball is the best way to play fantasy football, folks. So what are you doing? Hop on over to Underdog Fantasy, but when you do, use our promo code TCESGPN to claim your special pick plus first-time deposit offer. Up to $1,000 in bonus credits there. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code TCESGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Probably heard me rattle off stuff about Rhythm before, but get this. They just dropped a new game-changing feature called Power Trends. These are AI-detected patterns where Rhythm's model has consistently won and has a high ROI. Think like a strikeout prop that wins 59% of the time when the line and win probability hit a certain range. Power Trends are updated daily, exclusive to the Rhythm and Rhythm only. No touts, no noise, just clean data-backed bets, baby. Download the Rhythm app, check out Power Trends, and start betting smarter. You know we will be. Get your free 7-day trial period today. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's SportsGamblingPodcast.com/rhythm. All right. We are back. Let's get into this, man. This is the year. It's been building up for. Penn State opening up with the Wolfpack and Jeff Choate, who I'll be interviewing in about 9 days again. And I'll say this, Nevada almost beat SMU last year. Now, SMU did get worked by Penn State, but I do think Choate's a solid coach, but you should be fine here. 1-0.
Yeah, the number's 45.5.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll take the points. I think Choate's a decent coach.
Hey, tread lightly. Remember, Franklin's also known for fucking.
That's true.
Running
That
the
is
shit out
true.
the back door. That son of a bitch.
I'll take the points. Though. I think Nevada's a little bit better than the record last season, but
that's how they raised all that money for those renovations. Franklin covering all those games. Yeah, give me Penn State by 40 plus.
1-0. Oh, then the Sun Blazers of FIU, our friend Willie Simmons, our pal. A great hire by FIU. However, they will get their ass destroyed in this game.
Brutal second game.
This is a brutal. The series goes back to 2007. Yeah, 2-0, no problem.
2-0 beatdown. This is
then
con.
Well, look, the series goes back to 1902. I can appreciate history in college football, and that's the history of the sport of football because they created it. So Villanova, and I put that logo in red just so we would highlight this one. I love the regionality of this game. That is college football, but Villanova making the transition to the Patriot League soon here. Yeah, this will be 3-0.
Is Jay Wright coaching Villanova? Yeah, Penn State by 70.
And
then we have Franklin. Don't run it up on Villanova. Come on.
Yeah, it's an old school rival. All right, Tony Sacca, Shane Collin. We got a bye week. All right. Look, I'm not going to blame them for the non-con. I will, I think it's ridiculous to do that. But if you look and saw Ohio State won the national championship last year, you saw Penn State, you saw Michigan won it the year before. They did exactly this blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
It is unfortunate. This is why I feel like there should be, I am one where I don't want the auto bids in the Big Ten. I think that's fucking ridiculous. You know, the Big Ten wants the 3 auto bids, which I think is the most insane shit ever because the sport changes rapidly, in my opinion. But I do agree that there should be a set number of games, especially you just saw Syracuse land a 5-star yesterday. NIL is changing the whole fucking sport. And to me, everyone should play the same amount of Power 5 teams and then move on. But if that comes though at the, if the SEC has to say we're going to play the same amount of Power 5 games, but 3 auto bids, it's not worth it to me. I'd rather have what we have. 3 auto bids is like death to the fucking sport to me. It's really dangerous to me to be doing that because the sport changes. I mean, we could talk all you want about so many schools that were great at college football that weren't great anymore. You know, shit. I mean, you could literally, I could do 5 hours on this. So I think it's dumb to consider that. It come out of the bye week. So I understand the non-con being a joke. I do, because they still play 9 Power 5s. They're saying, hey, Ohio State did this, Michigan did this, they won natties. The SEC only does 8 conference games and then 1 Power 5 most times. So they're saying we're on the same pedestal, essentially. Is it right? No, it's fucking terrible. And as a fan, it'd be fucking terrible. Remember when Saban was bitching at his fans for not showing up?
Yes.
He's like, Saban's giving his own fans shit at Alabama when they're playing the Citadel, right? He's like, you guys didn't come out? You were 52.5-point favorites in a November game taking on the Citadel. Why would your fans want to go out? It's like, come on, man. You know what I mean? Citadel don't even get out scholarships, or they do, but it's you have to meet us. You have to go be a fucking soldier, essentially. Yeah. Anyway, they come out of the bye week, and the Oregon Ducks are coming to town without Evan Stewart, their best wideout. I'll take Penn State here. I am fascinated with Dante Moore, though. And I think this is something to keep note of, is like we were talking yesterday and I was rattling off the schools with all these, unknowns. Georgia, Miami. We went through a slew. Notre Dame starting Lloyd Carr's grandson, freshman, right? Ohio State. And seems like every school we mentioned that was a contender, even Alabama and stuff. Like, they're kind of this unknown, makes for a great year. And I threw Oregon in the mix, but you know what? Dante Moore got more reps at UCLA. I was looking at his stats last night. He got more reps at UCLA than I realized. And I think that could benefit the Ducks a little more than I realized. But Evan Stewart injury is massive. He was their best offensive player, probably. He's out for the year. That news just came a couple weeks ago. So I will take Penn State to get this done here at State College. Night game, too. Are you kidding me? Good luck, Oregon.
Yeah, I think this is a statement game for Penn State. I actually think Penn State might drill them a little bit. Oregon doesn't have a bye week before this, like Penn State. So not only does Penn State have the nice little 3-game preseason like Michigan, Ohio State, they shouldn't be banged up at all. Oregon plays Oregon State the week before, and Northwestern and Oklahoma State. Like this is 5 games in 5 weeks. I think Penn State by double digits.
Yeah.
Revenge from the Big Ten title game last year.
Agreed. I like him a lot too here. Then they head to the Rose Bowl, maybe the best stadium in all of college football. Series goes back to 1963. Nico, they got Nico. Will they be more Penn State fans than UCLA fans?
Remember at USC last year?
Oh, yeah.
Goddamn Penn State fans were out there. They won't sleepwalk through this one. They sleptwalk last year. Penn State, 5-0. I'm
with you. I don't think UCLA is much of a threat this year. Then Northwestern comes to town. They got to go back to that logo. I think Northwestern is a little bit better than the rep they're getting right now, but I still don't. They're not going to go into fucking Happy Valley and win.
No.
6-0.
6-0.
All right, then. You head to Kinnick Stadium.
This better be a night game. Don't big noon this shit.
Do we know this yet?
No. If they big noon this, that changes shit.
It does. That really does, actually. Because I'm going to take Iowa to win this game. The series goes back to 1930, by the way. I just picture Drew Allar at Kinnick Stadium against Kirk Ferentz's defense and Phil Parker's defense. Good luck. Now, if it's a noon kick, I think I might be with you that Penn State, that would play better for. See, Penn State fans want the noon kick here. They say, give us the big noon kick. It all matters, with your schedule. But if it's a night game, for sure, I'm taking Iowa to win this thing. I feel decent that Iowa's going to win this game. Iowa, top 10 teams, when you go to Iowa City, you normally lose under Kirk Ferentz. So I will take the Hawkeyes to get this done. First loss of the season.
Yeah, and to put it in perspective for everybody, the last 3 times under Franklin they've gone there, it's been a 1-possession game either way. Give me Iowa. Give me Iowa at home. I hope it's at night. I'll probably Benedict if it's a big noon kickoff. Yeah. So I'll have them with 1 loss going into the bye week.
Sure, me too.
Kinnick.
You got your bye week there. Shout out to the classic Penn State years, the national championship year in '82, and then an old flyer from the Syracuse game in '24. Here we go. Mac, I'm wearing my green Penn State shirt.
Come on, this is the year.
Fuck off, dude. Penn State fans, if you're listening to this, I hope I'm wrong. But I have gotten burned so many times. Like I mentioned earlier in the episode, probably $2,000. I would be willing to say, maybe more. I cannot take Penn State. They have to prove it to me here. They've had so many leads in this game. I cannot do it, dude. This is a loss to me until they beat Ohio. I use the same logic for Ohio State and Michigan, by the way. I mean, it's even worse for Penn State, Ohio State, but I'm just saying, like, prove it to me now. At this point, prove it to me. Ohio State win. Second loss of the season for Penn State. You?
Drew Allar's from Ohio. He ends the streak. Penn State goes into Columbus. They finally get those demons out of them. There you go, Penn State. Come on. This is the year. This is your year.
It is the Knowles revenge game. Shout out to Cody, my boy Cody. That is going to be he does know how, So Jim Knowles is sitting there telling James Franklin, wait a second here. I know Ryan Day.
Because I understand how the bastard thinks. I taught him. Now I own one.
That is a good element of that game.
Yeah.
But they have a new OC too. It's not like the same OC's there.
What time is that game? That'll be a big noon.
I think they're gonna fuck that up again. God,
they'll big noon that shit. They always big noon that game.
Yeah, big noon is the worst thing to happen to college football. Besides having a conference with Maryland, Rutgers, USC, and UCLA. Sorry, Big Ten fans. There is no sympathy from my side of things here. Then this game is dangerous. I'll tell you this: if Penn State wins, like at Ohio State in their first time, and when's the last time they won at Ohio State? It has to be a little bit of time.
I mean, the last time they won all together is 2016 on the block field goal, right?
Yeah, but that was in Happy Valley. They might have got the year Fickle coached Ohio State when they went like 6-6. This game right here though would be super slippery. If Signetti's got to love this spot because
2011.
Imagine if they win in state or in Columbus at the Horseshoe, and then Signetti's got them coming back. I'll take since I have Penn State losing. I will take Penn State to beat the shit out of Indiana here.
I'm gonna have them still get it done. It is a sleepy spot. We both like Indiana again with Signetti, and that chip on his shoulder. But give me Penn State to remain with one loss. The next game is dangerous.
Then Penn State heads to Spartan Stadium. Series goes back to 1914. Remember when they did this game at Ford Field? These idiots and the administration at Michigan State just hurting Jonathan Smith. They did the final game there at Ford Field again this year. This is a dangerous game. I think Penn State still gets it done though. It is dangerous. This is one. Remember, there was snowing a couple years ago. This game was awesome in the fucking snow.
Yeah.
2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever it was. Penn State, maybe a gut check game, but they get it done. What are you doing here?
It'll remind me of the Minnesota game last year. The gut
they should have lost that.
They should have totally lost at Minnesota. This is exact same time of the season. Cold as shit at Sparty. Jonathan Smith's team, I think, is going to be better. I'll take Penn State in a one-score game. They get out of there alive.
There we go. Then from there, Nebraska and Dylan Raiola. Series goes back 105 years. That's why we play these fuck. This is the only thing that makes sense. Even though I'd rather have Nebraska in the Big 8 or Big 12, but this is a little tricky because I'm kind of high on Nebraska this year in Holgerson's offense, but it's in Happy Valley. If this was in Lincoln, I'd actually think I'd take Nebraska to pull the upset. But who knows with Nebraska? But it's year 3 with Rule. I feel like you could trust that. But give me Penn State to get this one done. Another win. What are you doing here?
Yeah, same. Same with Indiana. I mean, I'm not going to bet against Penn State in Happy Valley. They're too electric in that building. So yeah, give me Penn State 10-1 headed into the finale. I
got them at 9-2 heading into the finale. in Piscataway.
Oh, this is interesting.
Against a Penn State guy, Greg Schiano. Series goes back to 1918. This would be fucking hilarious if Rutgers fucked up their whole season. For me, it'd be like 9-3 would put you on the fence of the playoffs. But I have Penn State winning this game. I have them going 10-2, but it would be fucking hilarious. Sorry, Penn State fans, if you're listening to this, but I enjoy sports misery. So it's not you. It's just anybody. It's like when the Cubs foul ball shit with the Marlins. I was cheering for that shit just because it's funny, right? It's funny. What are you doing here, Mac?
They got kind of a tough road schedule in the Big Ten, all things considered. Like I know Sparty and Rutgers aren't the best teams, but they're physical and they're good at home. Penn State wins, but I don't think they're just going to go in there and dog walk them by 30. I think this will be a little bit of a game. Rutgers can muck it up.
So you have them 11-1.
I have them 11-1 in the Big Ten.
I have them 10-2. The win total's at 10.5. So I am on the under. You are on the over. There's some disagreeing people in the chat. Overnight, I wake up. They're saying Mac only agrees with Dundee. Here we go. All right. And we don't talk about this pre-episode. We do our own fucking homework. We come in with this. So Penn State's plus 750 to win the Natty. Those are pretty good odds for this team. I have them going 10-2. I still think it's worth playing plus 750 to win the Natty. They're plus 260 to win the Big Ten. I wouldn't waste my time with that because tiebreakers on an 18-team conference, you fucking morons. Makes no sense. Minus 235 to make the CFP. So I will just place one bet here. I don't feel very confident on. Sorry, I can't talk. I don't feel very confident on the under because Penn State could win at Iowa. What if it is a noon kick? I feel the best bet on the board is plus 750 to win the Natty. So that's what I will do. I will take Penn State plus 750 to win the Natty. The non-cons light, it worked for Michigan. It worked for Ohio State. Penn State's loaded up. The rest of college football seems to be replacing major positions, whether it's quarterback, whether it's coordinators. It just seems like Penn State's in a very good spot to do this. Obviously, they would have, they win the Big Ten, they wouldn't have home field, but they could have home field. You saw how that worked for SMU last year. I think that's the best bet on the board, plus 750. Mac, how confident are you at 11-1? Or the over, or 12-0?
I'm not going to play the over. I mean, 10-2 won the national championship last year. I think that they saw what Ohio State did. I don't even want to play the Big Ten, to your point, with all these crazy tiebreaker scenarios. I think they have two big goals. They have three goals. They want to beat Ohio State and end that damn losing streak. They want to win the Big Ten, and ultimately they want to win the national championship. So I'll just play the plus 750 because I think they're good enough. They have all the pieces. They just need to nut up in the big games this year finally. And I think that they have all the pieces. So I'll play plus 750 to end the drought and make it 3 straight for the Big Ten.
I'll take that as well. I'll take that. Like I think it's a smart bet. And I like to advise my clients that dial 1-800-PICK-D that that is a smart wager. Look at the schedule from a bird's eye view.
Yeah.
It's a great schedule.
What's the floor? 9-3?
The absolute floor.
Iowa, Ohio State in one of those road games?
Maybe Oregon. I mean, if like Allar got injured, God forbid, but I'm just saying, you never know. They lost their backup. What's my guy's name to Missouri? Oh
yeah. Why am I drawing like
Pribula, right?
He was a rusher.
Well, my point is like, okay, Oregon is a losable game. Like Oregon went into the horseshoe and won not that long ago. Iowa and Ohio State are losable. I mean, shit. Even Indiana is, I guess, technically losable. If they beat Ohio State, I think it'd be a dangerous spot for them. Michigan, I don't think Rutgers is a losable game. I think Michigan State is.
Yeah.
I just can't see them losing every one of those though. I would say the floor is 8-4. Worst case scenario. I'm saying like Injury happens to Allar. He's out of the lineup off and on. You can build a scenario with them losing to Oregon, Iowa, Ohio State, and one other team.
Maybe Indiana.
Or Michigan State, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's worst case scenario. Don't get me wrong. I don't think that's going to happen, but I'm just saying worst case scenario, 8-4.
They have every piece. I mean, you can nitpick and poke holes at this roster, but I mean, this needs to be the year for Penn State, and Franklin and Allar need to get it done.
Yeah. Look, I think there's a great spot for them to win the national championship because of that much returning production. You get in the playoffs. Who gives a shit that I'm on the under? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to hear people atting me because I'm 10-2 is logical. I mean, Ohio State was that last year. Yeah. So I still think they're a very good football team, and I think this is the year to do it. And if anything, you almost want that adversity like Ohio State had. You almost want that pressure of, oh my, like imagine, Mac, if it's not Iowa. Imagine they lose to Ohio State again, almost like Day did to Michigan.
Yeah.
And then Michigan State catches in week 12, and everybody's out on Penn State again. But they make the playoffs because they're not playing in the Big Ten championship. They're hosting, I don't know, Ole Miss, some team. They beat the piss out of them again because it's cold weather, and these SEC little bitches got to come up to cold weather again, right? Or I know SMU is not in the SEC, but you know what I mean. They're
Tennessee to Ohio State.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. But then you almost want that pressure, that adversity that can guide you in. Look at Day. Look what Day did. Look what Harbaugh did. Harbaugh did that without the 12 team, but they had that adversity because people wanted Harbaugh fired. So anyway.
And Kirby couldn't win the big game either at one time.
Yeah. So it almost helps in a way. You almost need that as like your fuel. So, folks, speaking of fuel, we got more fuel in the tank. Ohio State's coming right up next. All right. So in 5 minutes, we are going live. I do have a nice slideshow honoring Penn State football and Penn State history. Big fan of Penn State. I wish the best, even though I'm on the under. I think 10-2 is more probable than anything out there. It's all gambling related. But yeah, I think 10-2 is what's going to happen. But Mac, he's on the over. All right. So everyone follow him on Twitter at Moneyline_Mac. I'm on Twitter at TheColbyD. Don't fucking send me anthrax or some shit. But yes, excited to talk Buckeye football because could this be the year? Obviously not for me, but for somebody it is. And his name is Moneyline Mac. Folks, be right back. 5 minutes. All right. This is the college football experience, Nittany Lions style. Don't fuck up your stadium. All right. You better start thinking about yours seriously.
Celly's off, so I can't be found. I'm on a worldwide tour, touring every fucking curtain down. They say the Lord watches over my sins, over my head, watching hair as it thins. Over the ledge, it ain't letting me in. There's still regiments and relevance to letting me win. Win, lose or draw. You ain't prepared unless you all ready to lose it all. Losing a brawl? Yeah, that's a ride a day. Good friends know my Nina Hideaway. They came and went, but the riders stay. So it's like I won the lottery and can't be found until I resurface with the latest purchase. 33 and a third and 45 circles. You ain't got that shit. And I ain't 45 king. But on the beats, I've been doing my thing. I start the program and the doorbell ring. I gotta leave town to a place I can't be found. My celly's off, so I can't be found. I'm on a worldwide tour, touring every fucking curtain down. American dreams, lessons, and still they work. I guess the sand on the beach still was really dirt. Now I'm going home, flying over Rome at 30,000 feet. Like, damn, is that really Earth? I see the killers work on walls, familiar turf. Got a little school in graph, 101 was first. Got a little school in math, didn't really work. But put the numbers on the block and I make them hurt. Any block is my stomping ground where my people lay low so they can't be found. They don't wanna be, ain't from the crew, but I'm honorary. Liquid, soul assassin, psycho harmony. Type of armory that's more than a shield. Type of armory's DeLorean steel. Type a warrior's ill. So true to my sound, but dig deep so it can't be found. My celly's off so I can't be found. I'm on a worldwide tour, touring every fucking curtain down.
It's the revenge of our stealth, the intelligence plane. A manifestation of karma. The far left, low keys, let it be. Listen, whispering words of wisdom. Ghost dog breathe in the shadow of leaves. Same darkness hides criminals, crooks, and thieves. Special forces, black ops. Bad brains, fishbone, black rock. Matter of fact, Chuck Berry and James Brown. But most of the true story can't be found. Unchained melodies inscribed to freestyle. I rock raw mosaics more potent with each style. Crack the system more open with each file. Upgrades and free hotels with these miles. Expansion team dilated peoples in town. If there's a better sound in it,
Can't be found. My celly's off so I can't be found. I'm on a worldwide tour.